Hello, everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into digital etiquette in the academic world. I'm Amelia, and with me is
Honey.
Today we are going to talk about how teachers, especially futuristic, forward-thinking teachers, can model netiquette to create respectful, professional, and engaging online classrooms.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. When we first started teaching and learning online, I quickly realized that even small missteps in online communication could snowball into bigger misunderstandings. One casual email, one ambiguous forum post, suddenly the message you meant to convey politely comes off as rude, dismissive, or just plain confusing.
Exactly. And in online academic settings, that miscommunication can affect grades, relationships, and even students' confidence. So, today we are going to explore netiquette, what it is, why it matters, and most importantly, how teachers can set the tone for students to follow.
And we're not just talking about surface level politeness here. This is about shaping thoughtful academic communities where ideas can be challenged respectfully and critical thinking thrives.
So, before we jump in, let's set the stage with a little scenario. Imagine a student sending an email like this. Hey prof, what's up? Can you check my essay? Simple, right? But in the professional academic context, this casual tone can actually confuse the teacher or make it hard to prioritize tasks.
Right. Contrast that with Dear Professor Smith, I hope you're doing well. I have submitted my essay for your review and would greatly appreciate if any feedback at your convenience. Thank you. See the difference? The second email is polite, professional, and makes it easy for the teacher to respond.
And that is just one tiny example of netiquette in action. Over the next few hours, we will explore dozens of examples, share personal stories, simulate real classroom scenarios, and even give you practical exercises you can try yourself.
So, whether you're a teacher, student, or just someone who communicates online a lot, this episode is packed with insights. Let's dive into our first topic, what netiquette actually is and why it's so crucial in academic spaces.
All right, let's start with the question. What exactly is netiquette? Simply put, it's the rules and norms of respectful, professional online communication. But it goes deeper than just saying please and thank you. It is about clarity, tone, timing, and awareness of how your words may be interpreted.
Exactly. And in academic settings, netiquette is everywhere. Emails, discussion forums, group projects, online classroom, chat apps, countless. Each of these spaces has its own norms, and as students and teachers, we need to adapt accordingly.
Uh, Let me give an example. Say a student posts a comment in an online discussion forum. This is wrong. You clearly don't understand. Ouch, right? That is technically expressing disagreement, but it is harsh, dismissive, and could shut down discussion entirely.
Now, compare that with I see your point, but I think there's another perspective to consider. Here's why. Boom. That invites dialogue and critical thinking rather than conflict.
And it's not just tone, timing matters too. Sending messages late at night or expecting immediate response can be perceived as demanding. Netiquette also considers cultural differences. What seems casual in one context may be rude in another.
Totally. I remember moderating a discussion once where two students from different countries misunderstood each other completely because of phrasing. The first student wrote, "Your idea is weird," meaning different, and the second took it as an insult. I mean, with Netiquette guidance, that situation could have been avoided.
So, teachers play a huge role here. They don't just grade assignments, they model the behavior students should emulate by showing professionalism in every email, forum post, or Zoom session. Teachers set the tone for the whole class.
And that's why this segment is so important. Understanding Netiquette is the foundation. If we skip this, everything else we talk about today won't have the same impact.
Okay, let's make this interactive. Take a moment and reflect. Think of your last 5 online messages, be it emails, chats, or even forum posts. How many of them would you consider truly professional? How many might be misinterpreted? Pause, think, maybe even jot down a couple.
Exactly. This reflection is key because the first step to improvement is awareness. Once we recognize where we fall short, we can start modeling better practices, which brings us perfectly to our next segment, teachers as role models for Netiquette. All right, now that we've explored what Netiquette is and why it matters, let's talk about the role of teachers. Honestly, teachers are more than just instructors. They are the living examples of how students should communicate online.
Exactly. If a teacher sends sloppy emails or posts vague announcements, students unconsciously pick up those habits. But if the teacher models clarity, respect, and professionalism, students mirror it naturally.
Let me give an example. Imagine a heated debate in an online forum. A student posts, "Your argument is nonsense." How should a teacher respond?
Oh, I know this one. The teacher could reply something like, I see your point, but perhaps we can consider this from another angle. This reframes the discussion, acknowledges the student, and keeps the conversation respectful.
Exactly. And that is also active listening online, acknowledging contributions, even when they're poorly phrased, and guiding students toward respectful professionalism.
Teachers also set expectations through examples in emails, LMS announcements, Zoom chats, and discussion boards. Every interaction is a mini lesson in digital professionalism.
Yeah. Here's another personal story. I once moderated a forum where two students completely also misunderstood each other due to casual slang, unlike the previous one. So instead of scolding them, I demonstrated a professional way to clarify. Like, "Thanks for your input. I'm curious. Could you explain what you mean here?" Like, the students followed suit immediately, just like right after that.
See, students mirror the teacher's behavior. Modeling patience, clarity, and professionalism sets a classroom culture where respectful academic discourse thrives.
And we can also extend this to assessment feedback too. Like, instead of writing, "This is wrong," a teacher can say, "Good effort. Here's how you might improve this section." That's Netiquette in action.
And small gestures like signing emails politely, using professional salutations, and being timely with replies also reinforce habits students will carry into their careers.
Exactly. And by the end of a semester, students not only improve academically, but they also internalized professional online communication norms. That's the power of teachers as role models.
Okay, next, let's see how this modeling supports critical thinking and academic discourse. So, why does netiquette matter for critical thinking? Well, respectful disagreement encourages deeper analysis. If students feel safe communicating professionally, they are more likely to challenge ideas constructively.
Right. Let's do like a quick role play. Again, imagine two students discussing a topic online. A student A write, I disagree with your conclusion. Student B could react defensively and shut down discussion. Or with an etiquette, the student B will reply, I see your point, but I have a different perspective. Here's my evidence. Like that. Productive dialogue.
And teachers can also reinforce this by highlighting good examples. For instance, after a forum discussion, you could showcase a student's respectful rebuttal and explain why it is effective.
Yeah, I think this also links to the 21st century skills, which is collaboration, communication, digital literacy, and empathy. So, netiquette is not just um, a rule. It's not just a rule, but it is also a skill to set students that they will use their whole lives.
Teachers can even integrate interactive exercises like role play debates,
Yeah.
peer review sessions, and guided forum discussions. So, here, students can practice applying netiquette while learning content.
Exactly. And we can also throw in real world case studies too. For example, some academic journals encourage online peer commentary. They can comment, and how students communicate there can affect publication discussions, future collaborations, and professional reputation.
I totally agree with that. So, Netiquette supports both learning outcomes and critical thinking skills. The classroom becomes a place where ideas are debated thoughtfully rather than arguments devolving into insults.
And honestly, that brings us naturally to digital professionalism and long term consequences. So, let's talk about digital footprints. This is, to be honest, this is my favorite topic as I am like the enthusiast of digital footprints awareness between my friends. Do you think so?
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
think so.
And yeah, everything students post online, emails, forum comments, like group chat messages, everything you post online, that will be your digital footprint. And I cannot emphasize on how dangerous that is, still is.
Yes, I agree with your point about digital footprint and how it affects students. A student may not think a casual forum comment is important, but future employers, internship mentors, or academic collaborators could see it.
Literally. And teachers can mentor students to like treat online communication as part of their personal identity. For example, before submitting a discussion post, at least ask your students, does this reflect the professional image I want to convey? Like, is this what I want to show my future employers.
Exactly. So these days, recruiters, they check LinkedIn, email interactions, even academic forum posts. So Netiquette is not just school rules, it is career preparation in the future for the students.
Exactly. And teachers can stimulate scenarios too. Imagine a student applying for an internship. So they submit an email to a company. If it's casual or sloppy, it may leave a bad impression, even for the teacher itself, because the teacher teaches the student. And then, yeah, practicing etiquette in class helps prevent that.
And it is also about long term habits of the students. So, students who learn respectful online communications in school are likely to be more confident, effective, and professional in every digital context.
All right, everyone. Now comes the part we've all been waiting for, the practical hands on strategies teachers can use to model netiquette and help students internalize professional online communication. This is where theory meets action. And I promise we're going to take out time here. No rushing because this part is very crucial. So, whether you're a teacher, a student, or even someone who just wants to communicate online more effectively, these strategies are for you.
Exactly. And we are not talking about just one or two tips. Today, we are going to break down dozens of strategies plus real examples, mini exercises, interactive role plays, and scenarios you can practice. And here's the thing, the more you practice, the more natural professional communication becomes. It's like learning an instrument. Repeated practice, reflection, and feedback make all the difference.
So, let's start with the first strategy, which is model professional communication in every single interaction, every message, every forum, post, every Zoom response is a chance to show what professional netiquette looks like. I mean, and I don't mean just sending an email. I mean, really thinking about your tone, your, clarity, structure, and even the little things like greetings and closings. So, these small habits teach students implicity, like they pick up on your example more than your rules. They, like I stated before in the previous example, they really do mirrors their teachers, their mentors.
Perfect. So let's do a little demonstration. I will play the student. Imagine I sent this one email. Yo, prof. I don't know if this is right, lol. Please check. How would you respond?
Yeah, okay. Here's where we model clarity, respect, and professionalism. I wouldn't reply casually or just correct them. I'd use this as a teaching moment. Something like, Dear Amy, thank you for submitting your work. I've reviewed your assignment. And here are some suggestions for improvement. First, consider and then proceed to, say the right thing, but carefully. I mean, see how this is structured? There's a greeting context for emails. I'm sorry, I'm still caught up with Amy's role play just now. So, yeah, it's about what is expected and it's a professional closing. Students reading this can get an example on how to phrase emails, how to like organize thoughts, and even how to communicate respectfully in general.
Yes, and here is the extra layer. You can explain to students why you wrote it this way. Break down each part from the greeting part, context, clarity, tone, and explicitly show why it works. This helps them understand the why behind etiquette, not just the what. Because if they know the reasoning, they are more likely to apply it in new contexts.
Right. And we can even take it further with a mini reflection. Like it's a reflection exercise for our listener. So pause for a moment and think about the last casual email or forum post you wrote. Maybe for to a teacher, to a classmate or even a colleague. Now rewrite it in a polished, professional, mannered way. Well mannered way. Pay attention to the greeting. Did you address the person respectfully? Tone. Is it clear, polite, and professional? Uh, Content, which is your request or information clearly structured and easy to understand? And lastly, closing. Do you end it with a polite sign off or just casual bye? So go ahead and pause. Try rewriting it, reimagine it, and take a few minutes. We'll wait.
Welcome back. I hope everyone had a chance to try it. And here is something important. Don't just rewrite it once. Try writing it in three different ways. One, overly formal, and then the other one, casual but polite, and the other one is balanced, professional but also approachable. So this can help you to find a tone that works across situations.
Yeah, and let's add a real life story, again, my favorite, to make it stick. I had a student who emailed me like this: "Hey, prof, check my essay." I won't lie, my first reaction was, okay. But I saw a teaching opportunity there. I replied professionally and then walked them through why the email needed rephrasing and even showing a few template examples of emails. By the end of semester, that student was emailing everyone in our class like a pro, structured, polite, and clear.
Wow, congratulations to you, Prof. And here's a tip for teachers out there: don't just model in emails, please. Every interaction counts. Zoom chats, discussion boards, even your tone in announcements. Students are observing all the time, so one small mistake can set an unintended example. But one consistent habit of professional communication reinforces proper netiquette over and over.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's make it interactive again. My favorite. Imagine you are now moderating a class discussion online. So, one student posts, "Your point is dumb." How do you reply in a way that is professional, constructive, and teaches netiquette?
So, this is the example. Thank you for your input. Could you explain your reasoning so we can understand your perspective better? See, you are acknowledging the student, keeping the discussion productive, and implicitly modeling respectful disagreement.
Yeah, and this is mini exercise for listeners. Write 3 different possible responses to a student posting a disagreeable comment online, like the one I just said. And one could be overly formal, one balanced, and one slightly casual but still polite, like Amy just stated. And compare them. Which encourages discussion the most? Which one models netiquette the best?
And here is another tip. Teachers can make these exercises a habit. For example, weekly forum reflections where students analyze their own poses and those of peers for tone, clarity, and also professionalism. They will learn to self regulate communication, which is our ultimate goal.
And let's also not forget small details. Even punctuation, capitalization, and spacing matter. Something like please check ASAP, and then uh, the exclamation mark, five exclamation mark. I mean, that looks so rushed and unprofessional in the most way ever. And a little attention to structure, which is like, could you please review this at your earliest convenience? Instantly communicates seriousness and respect to anyone that you're sending to.
So, here is our mini role play idea. You can do this in class or even as a solo listener exercise. Take 5 random casual messages you have sent in the past week, be it texts, emails, forum posts, and rewrite them as if a supervisor or professor might read them. Reflect on the differences.
Yeah, and a bonus tip, create a personal style guide for yourself. It doesn't need to be complicated. Like, I mean, just a few notes on greetings, closing phrases, tones, emojis. I mean, yeah, all of the usage of them. Over time, it becomes automatic. Every interaction reflects professional communication without you even thinking about it. It's like an autopilot especially for students and teachers where they have to submit um, formal documents.
So that's the beauty of modeling professionalism communication. It is about practice, reflection, and consistency. Students and peers learn through repetition and observation, not just lectures about being polite. It is living, active, and also an ongoing process.
Yep. Wow, what a journey we've been on today. Like from understanding netiquette to seeing how teachers can model professional communication to even exploring practical strategies, exercise, and role plays, and real life examples that I love. And yeah, we've really gone in depth. I hope by now, um, everyone that is listening can feel inspired to think carefully about how they want to communicate and how they communicate online. Because if you don't care, for me, if you don't think about it and you don't really care about it, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, please do care. And because every detail, every email, forum post, Zoom message, the same exact thing that we've been, the same examples that we've been saying, um, it is an opportunity to model respect, clarity, and also professionalism of yourself.
Absolutely. And remember that Netiquette is not just about following rules, guys. It is about creating meaningful, thoughtful, and productive online communities. When teachers model professionalism consistently, students learn not only to communicate respectfully, but also to reflect critically, disagree constructively, and collaborate effectively.
Yep. Thinking back to the exercises and mini role play we did, take those strategies and make them part of your daily habits. Like I said before, like your autopilot. You don't have to, really think about it when you actually practice it. And, your own emails online, the same exact thing. Over time, you'll see that the professionalism will adapt to you and your communication becomes second nature.
And don't forget that this is a skill that grows with practice. You will certainly make mistakes. That is okay. What matters is reflection and learning. So every time you pause and think, is this clear? Is this respectful? Does this reflect my best self? You are actually already reinforcing good netiquette and building your professional identity.
Yeah, and one last point, teachers, students, everyone. Netiquette is contagious in the best way possible because one well structured, polite, thoughtful message can set the tone for an entire discussion, classroom, or online community. And you're not just communicating, you're helping and shaping the culture of learning. Like, when you started with, let's say you start a forum rudely or in a not well mannered tone, that will set the whole, right now we call it vibe. That will set the whole vibe wrong, and we do not want that.
So, whether you are writing your next forum post, emailing a professor, collaborating with your peers, or moderating an online debate, remember everything we talk about today. Pause, reflect, structure your message, be polite, give evidence, and lead by example.
Yeah, and for our listeners, thank you so much for spending all this time with us, exploring the art and science of netiquette. Keep practicing, keep reflecting, and remember, every online interaction is an opportunity to grow and also teach at the same time. Remember, guys.
Exactly, you've got this. And if you ever feel unsure about a message or post, take a moment to think, is this clear? Is this respectful? Am I modeling the professional behavior I want others to see? That pause alone makes a huge difference.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
thank you for joining us on this deep dive into digital etiquette, which is netiquette, in the academic environment.
So until next time, stay thoughtful, stay professional, and keep growing.
Bye everyone, and don't forget, good netiquette is not just a skill. It's a superpower for the 21st century classroom. Until next time.